neglect the biblical doctrines and leading them back to the Bible. And you might give counsel to them before discerning what type of person they are. So not all counsel works for the same, not one counsel doesn't work for all people. You have to kind of discern who they are and what they are. That's an interesting one. Shepherding. Anybody have this in their top 3?
I get it from my father.
Your father's a shepherding, and you have some of that. Okay. This is such a nice one. I was wishing I had this, and I don't have any of this. Like this is one of my lowest ones. They're like, oh, a pastor's wife should have this. And, you have a desire and ability to help Christians grow to greater maturity in faith. So this is really related to exhortation, isn't it? But it's a little softer version. Because you enjoy guiding them and mentoring them and nurturing them. You just want to put a lot of time and energy into them. You want to help people overcome the problems in their lives. You want to protect people from harmful things in their lives. And then you have a following of people who trust you and because you've cared for them and you've given attention to them and given them good counseling. So you can probably have some of that too. Maybe the shepherding exhortation. They're similar, but just a little different twist. And I don't have the misuses of this one. Faith. Anybody have that?
That's
one?
mine. That's
there's
Max too.
quite a few here. I have that one too. So there's 5 of us. Yeah. Yeah, I thought of you actually. This one it reminded me. So these are some of the characteristics of someone who has this gift. You have an unshakable trust in God's power and love, which you can see. Which you can
Help
others to see. Sorry. I don't know what I did there. You're not dismayed when situations look bleak. So this is similar to the exhortation piece, where if things go wrong, you know God's going to use it. You believe in that. I didn't like this, that you kind of believe things happen for a reason, because that's pretty. People say that all the time now, don't they? Everything happens for a reason. I think we mean this a little differently as Christians. That God's meaning, God's going to use it and bring it together to do something with it. Doesn't mean He wanted these bad things to happen, but God uses these things for our good. These people are really bold in their prayer. Like they ask God for things that seem impossible, and they're okay doing that. They're not worried to get disappointed. They just believe God can follow through. You can see no challenges insurmountable. So these guys some people can call them too optimistic. These guys, they aren't realistic, but they set very high spiritual, financial, and relational goals, and they believe that God's going to come through with that. And what a great feeling to have people around you that can believe in that. And knowing you were nodding quite a bit, do you kind of relate to this stuff? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You just say yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know I'm going quickly today. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good.
I feel this pressure to get it done today. Evangelism. Anyone have that as one of their top?
I do it. I do it. No, I do it, but I think it's not.
Not one of your gifts. Pastor Peter and I were talking about this. This one has always bothered me as a Christian because this is not one of my giftedness. I'm not very good at it, but we're all called to evangelize. And so I was kind of asking Peter about that, like, if it's not your gift, do you not have to do it? Like I was trying to get out of it. and he said there's actually some that, the Bible's very explicit that we're all called to do, but it's easier for some people than others. And I think I've used it a bit in my life to say I'm just not good at it, it's not comfortable to not do enough of it. But yeah, we are all called to, but some people, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they just do it naturally. And everything they say is about Jesus, and they can do it in a way where it doesn't offend people, and people are drawn to it and wanting to listen. So that's kind of explaining how they are. They have a passion. They easily can talk about how God's blessed their life. They're not afraid to interact with non-Christians and to kind of be on their terms. And they can tell inspiring stories. And they have a real heart for the lost people. There are some people that will really cry for people that they know do not know Christ, and they're worried about them, and they pray for them, and they want to make sure they get them to a place of saving faith. So, apostleship. I thought that's an interesting title and word. Does anyone have that as one of their top? These are the missionaries. These are the people that want to go out in the mission field, have these. I think I thought of Nat a little bit. Is Nat here today? Yeah, he is.
She can be.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Lucy.
Oh, that's
Maybe she can be the one who sings with the worship team.
Kim. that might be. You haven't taken the test, right? Yeah. It'd be interesting to see. I have extra if you guys want to take them if you haven't. I thought about Matt with this too. He has ideas of how to go help people in a big way and kind of this mission trip idea and ability to motivate others, proficient at creating ministries. In the congregation, these are the people that provide the church's mission and they want to bring new ideas to the church. And yeah, they kind of said they could be a church planter. They go around the world starting up new churches or a foreign missionary. They often tend to do that. Service helps. This is a common one. Does anyone have this one? Oh, just one. Okay. This is a nice one too. I like this one. You guys see the practical needs. So a little different from discernment or mercy, which we'll get to later. But you see if someone needs food or clothes or housing, and you really want to meet that need. And you get a joy in doing that. Especially if it frees other people up to do other things. If you can do the practical things, everybody else can do the rest, you kind of get a joy out of that. Sometimes you can disregard your own health and comfort if others need something more than you do. You might have difficulty saying no, so you get involved in a lot of things. Some people are laughing. But you have it's weird, there's a special enjoyment in providing physical needs. Making sure someone has what they need. You remember people's likes and dislikes because of that. You kind of tune into that. You also might need appreciation. You might be seeking appreciation for doing it. You like to be with others. You enjoy short-term projects because you might become frustrated with long-term responsibilities because it's not very hands-on in the planning stages. You might feel inadequate and unqualified for spiritual leadership. I thought that was an interesting one. Because most likely you're not, but you kind of use your hands instead of thinking that you could work on people's hearts or work on people's spiritual lives. Some of that ring true for you guys? Here's a misuse of service helps. You could neglect your own home responsibilities just to help others. You might accept too many jobs at one time. You might wear yourself out. You might be too persistent to giving people things, even if they don't want it, because you know they need it. You're like, here, take this, but they may not be wanting it at the time. You might also go around the proper lines of authority to get something done. If it's too much of a hassle to go through the pastor and the board and the elders, you might just say, I'm just going to do it myself, so we don't have to go through all that. You might exclude others from helping on a job because you want to be the one doing it. You might interfere with, this one's very interesting, you might interfere with God's discipline if you help people too quickly. Sometimes people are hurting because they are out of relationship with God, right? Mm-hmm. God's disciplining them. They're walking away from God, and if you try to meet that need too quickly, they're not going to go to God. I'm guilty of doing that, especially when it's kids I'm taking care of. I may try to get them out of their pain instead of God might be using it for something. So it's hard to discern that. You might be hurt if people aren't grateful for what you do. And then they kind of talk about this a bit. You can get sidetracked. Because if there's another need that comes up, you're going to go do that. You just run to that instead of finishing a project. Mercy. Anybody have this? Oh, this is mine too.
You mean for the top 3, right?
Yeah, top 3. Yeah.
I also mean top 3.
Do you have like 6 up there?
That's meant too.
They're all tied with the same number.
4.
You have 4 up there, okay. So is this one of your 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're very well rounded with spiritual gifts. God. Well, and we'll talk about this a little bit because sometimes if you've been a Christian longer, that's why I was surprised when a new gift came up. It maybe has been a gift of mine all along, but I hadn't really been working on it, and I hadn't been really pursuing it. But then as you mature as a Christian, they can come out stronger and more. So mercy is the ability to sense genuine love, a greater vulnerability to deeper and more frequent hurts from lack of love. And what they mean by that is since we can feel things stronger, we can also get hurt easy too if other people don't love us in the right way. A need for deep friendships. These people don't want to chit chat. They don't really like surface talk. They want to talk about what's going on with your life. How are you? Really, how are you? They react harshly when friends are rejected. And what that means is if they see their friends being hurt, they hurt for them. And they feel rejection strongly. They have a greater concern for mental and emotional joy than physical needs. So this can go along good with the service helped people, right, who can meet the physical needs. These people want to meet the emotional needs. And if you have both, that's pretty powerful, actually. You attract people who are having mental and emotional distress. People can sense that you would understand them. You measure acceptance by physical closeness and quality time. So you kind of look at relationships. Do people really want to spend time with me? Are we close? You don't like maybe friendships that just call once a month. You want closeness. You desire to remove the causes of hurt rather than look for the benefits of them. So this goes back to what we were saying. Like sometimes with mercy, you just want people not to be hurting. But what if God is using that to benefit them? So you might try to take it away too quickly. You avoid decisions and firmness. This is the one Peter laughs at with me. Unless they will eliminate greater hurt. So you can be kind of wishy-washy. I'm describing myself here because you can see all sides of the story and you can see everything and you can say, I see this person, I understand this person, and you don't want to come down on one side.
That's so true.
Yeah. It's one of my biggest weaknesses. Yeah, and some people even say, what do you really think on this? And it's hard because I don't.